This means a lot too, Craig, that you take time out of your busy schedule to come on to people's podcast.
Oh, yeah, no problem.
All right, here we go. Hold on.
Glad to help out.
Okay. Boom. And we are live. I want to thank everyone for tuning in to a special edition on the People's Podcast of what is known as Sport and Play, as we have we address all of the top subject matters dealing in sports. And today we're talking about the NFL playoffs. So I'm first of all, we have an amazing panelist with us who played. He's an athlete, but he was good at football, and man, he's one of my former teammates in basketball. None other than Craig Merzak. How you doing, sir?
Playoffs. I'm just trying to win a game.
The reason I invited Craig back is not only because he's a good friend, but also because the Bengals are actually in the playoffs, and I'm excited for him. So, how does it feel to be a Bengals fan and get your first win after so long?
First playoff. It's been 31 years. I was 7 years old. The last time I seen the Bengals win, it was a 41-14 against a team that didn't even have. It was Houston, but not the Texans. It was the Houston Oilers. And then the following week, we got pounded by Marcus Allen and Bo Jackson and the LA Raiders. So it's kind of funny now. Here we are, 31 years later. We beat the Raiders, and now we're playing the team that moved to Tennessee, from Houston, the Tennessee Titans. So
okay, and hold on, and do you think that? So I'm assuming because you're a Bengals fan, do you think you can pull it off?
No.
Well, you think you're gonna lose to the Titans?
Simply, I would love this. Yeah. This is where our roster still is definitely still we're still putting things together. I can't see us beating Derrick Henry, Tannehill, all those guys that have been around. They played some tough guys too. They're the ones who beat or did they? I'm trying to remember. Did they beat the Ravens, or the Ravens beat them last time?
Well, the guy who's coming on now, who's coaching, he's actually the Raiders' biggest fan I'd ever known. I was texting him, and he was telling me, all his predictions. That's why I was like, I got to bring him on as well. Okay, so your prediction for the Bengals and Titans are the Bengals.
It'd be closer.
I mean, are the Titans.
Yeah, let's look at 27-20.
27-20. Okay.
Yeah, put me down for that.
Okay, for the Titans. All right. Okay, I'm going the other way, Craig. I'm going the other way.
Really?
I'm gonna have to go with the Bengals. I think the Bengals for the upset, man.
Why is that?
I think to me it's all about the quarterback. I know he's like young, and maybe it's a swagger, maybe it's the cigars, maybe it's the shade. I just believe. I'm like, I don't know. I think they might pull it off. I think he has the ability to do so. And I just think, I don't know the exact time like as far as your the 27-20, but if I had to predict, I'm going 21-7.
21-7. You think the Bengals are gonna hold Derrick Henry, huh?
Yeah, I don't know if he's gonna come back banged up or not. Okay, so thank you for being late. Thank you for being on time. I'm talking about a former teammate of mine. I'm like, this guy, he's a coach. He's gonna be ready to prepare. He knows more statistics about the Raiders than anybody I've ever met. I'm like, goodness, like all he does is know Raiders stats. So now, and thank everybody for continuing to like, share, subscribe to People's Podcast. Okay, so right now we're dealing with the Bengals and the Titans. Craig has predicted that the Bengals will win in 27-20. I mean, the Titans are going to win 27-20. I predicted that the Bengals are going to win 21-7. Okay, for you, Bro Joseph, what you got?
Ooh, I think that's going to be a very, very close game. I know the Bengals, the bad part for the Bengals is they lost 3 linemen, and I don't know, defensive linemen, and I don't know if those defensive linemen are going to play. So that's going to be very, very tough if they're able to exploit that. But I think this will be a tough and a close game. They played before. and it was pretty close. So I would say somewhere around 24-21. And I would have to say the Bengals.
Okay, you going with the Bengals too? Okay.
Yeah, 24-21 Bengals. Yeah.
Okay. Now you're making me nervous because everybody you predicted last weekend lost. So now you making them on your side.
Listen,
I don't know how I feel about your predictions.
Listen, I only really predicted one game, and it was a complete travesty. It was horrible. So it went out. But my Raiders, we did what we could.
Yes, I saw.
It is what it is. But we'll be back.
Now, Craig, let's go to the Bay. 2 bays. So we got, well, not 2 bays, but Green Bay and San Francisco, which is in the Bay. All right. So who you got?
That's gonna be, one of the probably the best games I think that weekend. But I was kind of going back and forth, but with Jimmy G's shoulder and the sprain, and Green Bay getting healthier, I think you got Green Bay. It's gonna pull off that one. We'll say 31-20.
31-20. Okay. You going Green Bay 31-20. All right. Okay, for you, but Joseph, what you got?
All
right. So I think Green Bay is the obvious choice. I mean, I don't think Jimmy G, great shoulder, bad shoulder, no matter what he is, he's not, messing with Aaron Rodgers at all. However, the problem is cold weather. The 49ers right now have a way of making things ugly on defense. They are starting to look like the San Francisco 49ers that went to the Super Bowl a few years back. So I think it's going to be a field goal game. It's going to be a field goal game, I believe. I think that the 49ers pull it out. So let's go to 2017.
Okay, now that's more like you picking the people who are going to lose. Okay. You going to Niners. You said 2017?
2017.
You got to know that Green Bay has the 30th ranked defense, so rush defense. So, if Deebo Samuel and Mitchell can get going, like you said, cold weather, yeah, they could put they'll make a game interesting, keep Rodgers off the field. That's their only recipe to beat them.
Yeah, they're gonna make it ugly. They're gonna make it really, really ugly. Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm going with my same number that I chose earlier, 21-7, Green Bay. You heard it here first.
21. What's you in 21-7?
I just don't think.
Crazy. That's crazy talk.
Listen, shout out to Deebo. I think they're a good team, but I don't know about the cold weather. Aaron Rodgers is cold weather. Like, what y'all mean?
No, he's great. He's great. That doesn't stop anything. But when you have defenses that can just muddle things up, and what they do is they break up timing. When you have defenses like that, they'll mess up your timing. They're going to run the ball an awful lot, no matter who they play. If you run the ball, that can travel. So that's going to be the hardest thing right there. So they're going to run the ball. They're going to make it ugly. And, I think it'll be a low-scoring game. I don't think Aaron Rodgers is going to be able to get off. Because if you look at the first game, if I remember, they were blowing them out a little earlier. But, I think it got pretty close, right? If I remember the first
17-0, yeah. 17-0.
It was 17-0.
17-0.
Yeah.
And they won with the game-winning field goal. So,
right.
Yeah.
Perfect. Right. This is why I bring the experts on like you all. Former player and coach now, you know what I'm saying? So we get some good stats. And me, I'm just all knowing. All right, let's go. So now we're going to the LA versus Tampa Bay. What you got, Craig?
Ooh.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's going to be probably one of the closest games. But again, I think this is where if you look at the game last night, Stafford he didn't really have a great outing for throwing. He didn't have to, obviously. I think Tampa's going to make him throw. I like Tampa in a situation. It's going to be closer than a lot of people expect. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to say 23-20 Tampa Bay.
23-20 Tampa Bay. Okay. All right. And for you, sir?
Playoffs, the teams are pretty even. This is generally where blowouts happen. when they're really, really even. And it seems like, it'll be a more tough game. The last game that they had, I kind of looked at that one. They were unable to protect Brady, and LA was able to protect Stafford very well. I don't know what Stafford will be in the playoffs because he just hasn't really been there much. So I think the Rams get about 31. Tampa will get about 21, 31-21.
Okay. I mean, Odell Beckham Jr. saying he got ice in his veins. Von Miller and all of that. Like I watched last night. I was like, hold up now. I was like, hold up. However, we going Tampa. I'm going 28-21.
Oh, I'm shocked.
Yeah.
I'm shocked you're going with Brady. I'm shocked.
I'm just saying. I mean, I'm just saying. But it ain't. I'm not sleeping on the Rams. At the same time, I'm not sleeping on the Rams. I'm not sleeping on the Rams at all.
Yeah,
okay.
I think the Rams got this one easy.
All right, now let's go. Easier. Craig, what you got? The Bills and the Chiefs.
Ooh. Again, that should be another fun one. That's gonna be pretty close, but the way Kansas City has been performing these last, they've gone on automatic. The game against actually Cincinnati, they should have won. They coach can tell you they had some errors. They should have never had Jamar Chase one-on-one. And they would have won that game that way. So, but other than that, Kansas City has been on fire. I like Kansas City in the spot 34-20.
Okay. 34-20. All right,
I love Josh Allen though. Josh Allen's been a beast. So.
Yeah.
Kansas City. Okay, for you, Brett Joseph.
It would go against everything in my life to go for Kansas City.
You Raiders fans, boy. I'm telling you.
Win, lose, a tie, Raider till I die. I think Kansas City. I thought the beginning of this year teams had figured Kansas City out. This is just as a football fan. Kansas City they just weren't clicking. I don't know what it was. I think the run game opened a lot up for them. So Kansas City looks very, very good. I think the Bills, I just kind of went through their, they're just up and down. The Bills last week, they were world beaters. And then I've seen, they've lost to like the Jets probably. I think they lost to the Jets twice or something like that. And they lost to Pittsburgh and teams like that. So having said that, Kansas City is just going to be, they've been here before. They've been here the last, 3 years, 2-3 years. So Kansas City's got to do it. Kansas City does it. I think, let's say 28-24.
Okay, so you're going 28-24. Okay, look, all the Raiders fans booing you in the stand from the stands. Of course.
No. But that's the first and last time I'll ever say that. I hope they both do.
Okay, now I'm going with Kansas City. I'm going 35-28.
Okay.
I'm going Kansas, but I'm also saying I didn't know how good the Bills were to the play. Like to that last game, they just showed me something. I was like, I'm not going against Kansas City.
You're talking about they went against the Patriots team that lost its last 5 games. The Patriots were a lot of big pretenders. They had a great streak of like the best opponents they could beat. So that's the reason they got into the playoffs in the first spot. So they had no business being there, and Buffalo exposed them.
Okay.
And that's the thing about Buffalo. You don't know who Buffalo is. I mean, inconsistent means bad. It usually means bad. But Josh Allen can light you up. But I just if you ask for consistency, Kansas City has to be the more consistent team, obviously. So.
Okay, great. And thank everybody who continues to like, share, and subscribe. I'm about to put this on YouTube. I just want to make sure I got everybody's predictions for the NFL playoffs. This round. Hopefully we'll bring everybody back and see what where they were wrong, where I was right, and we'll just we'll see what's going on.
But I do need you to know, for all the Raider fans out there, football is dead to me. You have to know that. It's go Warriors, and I just need you to know that for right now.
Okay, now just in case, because it's hard, everybody has busy work schedules. Do you all have any predictions for the Super Bowl? We'll start with you, Craig. You got any predictions for the Super Bowl?
It's gonna be a lot of fun. No, yeah, I would like to see. I would really like to see if the story was true about Tom Brady was originally. Well, actually, hold on. I'm talking about the NFC Championship game. I'm sorry. That I would like to see San Fran versus Tampa in the NFC Championship game for the fact that, like, the story. You heard about that, right, Josh?
No, which story?
Where when he was leaving, when Tom wanted to get out of, he was a free agent, he wanted to leave. He told, there's a report coming out that said that he told someone, the San Fran personnel, I think it was Wes Walker, because he's one of the coordinators, right?
Yeah.
He said, I won't do any negotiation. Just pay me this much money. I'll come there. Like, you spend all the rest of the money on the team, and I'll come and let's win one. And I guess they said, no, I think we're going to stick with Jimmy G. And that's why he put in that barbershop. Like, you're going to stick with that guy over me? I think he was insulted by it. So it would be fun to see Jimmy G, the Patriots back. The storyline would be a lot of fun. I know we're talking about the Super Bowl, but I think that would be a lot of fun to watch between those two guys, and just to see what kind of outcome would come. But for Super Bowl, I'm gonna go Packers, Kansas City, repeat of the very first Super Bowl.
Okay. I mean, that's not far fetched. Okay, and for you, sir?
I see the Rams, Kansas City. In the Super Bowl, Rams beating them 76-0.
Wow.
Fumbles and interceptions. But on that, I just also need to let you know that it was a fumble.
It was. Thank you for always bringing the Raiders fumble up. It's just let it go. Like, my
it was
God.
a fumble.
Okay.
Tom Brady is not anything.
What play? The play.
Exactly. The play from 30 years ago. The play from 50 years ago. You know what I'm saying? From Steve Saba in the NFL film.
Hey,
that play. Like,
it changed the trajectory of both teams. So it was a fumble.
Okay. Well, good. Well, it's gonna be some fumbling this week in the playoffs. I don't know who. It's gonna be good. Like the Super Bowl is gonna be interesting, but y'all know what it is on my end. But on the AFC, I don't know. I don't know in any round, to be honest. I'm just guessing, but it's gonna be good. I like all the teams that are here, with the exception of the Bills. Is the only team I can't gauge them. But everybody else,
So what you got? Tampa.
I kind of like the Bengals, even though Derrick Henry is the best running back in the game. I still kind of like the Bengals though.
Yeah.
In the Super Bowl?
No. I was just saying in the playoffs.
It's like what you said. What will Derrick Henry be? What will he be?
Yeah. We're gonna see. All right. Well, I want to thank both of my amazing panelists for coming on. Thank everybody for watching. I'm about to put this on YouTube so we can come back and have this, documented. Man, I just thank y'all for coming. Ain't nothing like the NFL playoffs, y'all.
That's right. Thank you for allowing us. Yeah.
Okay,
go ahead.
Thank you.
Okay, cool. I mean, okay, Bertos, you got something to say before we go?
No, I was just thanking you, man. I'm honored, always to be on and with your other panelists with great knowledge, and you who just pick because you like the colors. So I'm like to be, but
I'm doing something right. I don't know. I'm doing something right. For some reason, I keep winning. I don't know what's going on. Something right. There's a method to my madness. You know what I'm saying?
But I'm honored. I'm honored, man. Like like always, nephew. You know how I get down. But you didn't tell me about the thing. I would have worn my hat or something, man. I can't. It is what it is. Man.
It is what it is. If you watch the show, most people wear hats.
Hey, I give a lot of credit. I give a lot of credit to the Raiders this year. I mean, for what they had to go through this year and everything, all the turmoil, and losing their GM this year too. Who I don't know if you heard about the reports too with like Mac that basically, he's the one who picked. I don't know how you feel about him getting fired or not, but supposedly he's the one who got all like the defensive guys, Renfro.
Yeah.
That it was John Gruden who was the one who was like, I want this for first rounders, that really was that he didn't get a choice to like pick who he wanted. So
yeah, you never know. You kind of never know. I thought he should have got another shot without Gruden to kind of see what he would do. I think Al Davis wanted to have him there 20 years ago. So this wasn't anything new. Al Davis actually really wanted Mayock a long time ago. But I don't know how much, because they said Gruden was 51-49 or something like that. So whoever he wanted to pick, he would get the pick. He would overrule. But I don't know who he picked or who he didn't. But I know he found some great gems in the 3rd and 4th rounds. Mad Max was one of them.
Yes.
Like Renfro. Yep. So there's a lot of people that he got. So it might mean that they're getting ready to clean house, and Jim Harbaugh or somebody's coming. I want on record. Let me say this on record. If I could have one coach in the league, it would be Brian Flores. I want Brian Flores, the guy that just came from the Dolphins.
I don't understand it, but okay.
No. I mean, he's a tough coach. He's a great coach. I think he's one that would make our defense a powerhouse if he got the right offensive coordinator. So I'll leave it at that. But I mean, you look at Miami; they're competitive. They, I don't know what they have. They say he wanted Herbert over Tua. And that would kind of change their trajectory, but they said that the GM chose Tua. That's what they say. That's what the word is. I don't know. You might know better.
I'm about to say, I don't know about the Dolphins because they didn't make the playoffs. However, shout out to the Raiders for keeping me. I'm just saying, like, if you don't make the playoffs, it's kind of hard for me to keep up with everything behind
and
the
Madden.
scenes.
We lost Madden too. Madden died, man. What the heck?
No.
This was a heck of a deal.
Yeah, I know. But listen, I still got my hat. I still got my I don't have it on right now, but I still have my Raiders hats, because it's cool fashion. You know what I'm saying? All right. I want to thank everybody for coming on. Thank everybody for watching. Exactly. I mean, it is. Shout out to the Raiders. I mean, it's because of NWA, to be honest. But shout out to the Raiders. This is Joshua Leonard Muhammad signing off for the People's Podcast. Thank y'all very much.
Thank you.